Welcome back once again. Right. So in the earlier lecture, we have seen that what are the important elements or the determinants of the individual demands. Right. In the last lecture, we have seen that first and most important factor that is called as price of the given commodity. Right. Second one was price of the related goods. Third one was complementary goods. Under that, substitute goods and complementary goods were there. Now we can see another examples, another determinants, another important factors which will be affecting on the influence of demand of the commodity. Right. Now number one, again another taste and preferences. This is also most important determinants as the factor which is affecting on the demand of the commodity. Let's see how taste and preferences of the consumer directly influence the demand for a commodity, because they include change in fashion, customs, habits. These are the important factors which is influencing the demand of the commodity. A commodity in a fashion or preferred by the consumers, then demand for such commodity rises. Nowadays, craze of the wearing of jeans pant is very, very high. And demand of the jeans pant is increasing day by day. Right? Because fashion, right? Preferences, right? Now then expectation of change in the price in future. If you talk about this point, you can take a simple example of nowadays, recent days, that is called as gold. Every day gold prices is increasing day by day. Suppose if you are purchasing more goods as a commodity for today, for the purpose of, for the expecting of in the future that prices will be increased. Right? So if the price of certain commodity is expected to increase in the near future, then people will buy more of the commodity because they are expecting the price of the gold will be increasing in the near future. That is why they are buying more quantity. Then what they normally buy, there exists a direct relationship between the expectations of change in the prices in future and the change in the demand of the current period. Example, if the price of petrol is expected to rise in the future, its present demand will increase. Right? In current situation, demand will be increased. Suppose suddenly, government declared and the government announced from day up to tomorrow, petrol prices will be increased by 5 rupees. Now we can take a simple example and you can go to the petrol pump and see it. Demand of the petrol pump will be increased today, present. Right? So these are the important factors which is affecting on the demand of the product. Now change in quantity demanded versus change in demand. Change in quantity demanded versus change in demanded. See, change in quantity demanded. Quantity demanded refers to specific quantity to be purchased against the specific price of the commodity. You know what? That consumer is ready to purchase the goods for a specific price, right? With a specific quantity only. Whenever demand for a given commodity changes due to change in its own price, then such change in demand is known as change in quantity. Right? See, most important point is that, right? Commodity changes due to change in its own price. There is nothing change in this case. Only their own price is changed. There is no substitute price is changed. There is no there is no another there is no factors affecting on that goods. कोई भी factor इसके ऊपर affect नहीं कर रहा है, but still इसका खुद का price change हो चुका है. Then the change in demand known as change in quantity demanded. Example, if the demand for Pepsi changes due to changes in its own prices, demand of Pepsi is changed due to reason of increase in the price of demand, their own price. That is why their demand is decreased. Suppose Pepsi demand will be increased due to reason of their change in their own price. Whatever it will be happening, that is the responsible for their own price only. And such change in demand for Pepsi known as change in quantity demanded. Whatever is changing happening in this situation, that is called as change in quantity demanded. Maybe in the examination, this type of question will be asked. Due to change in its own price, demand will be this. Right? Your demand will be changed. Quantity demand will be changed. Right? Change in demand. Whenever demand for the given commodity changes due to factors other than price, and such change in demand is known as change in demand. Now, important point, factor other than price. Price को छोड़ के जो दूसरे factors affect कर रहे हैं ना, due to that reason, change in the demand of the commodity. Right? Let's see how. Example, if the demand for Pepsi changes due to change in the price of Coke, कोक के प्राइस में चेंज हो गया, इसके चलते पेप्सी के डिमांड में चेंज हो गया वहां. Due to change in income or due to change in taste, then such change in demand for Pepsi is known as the change in demand. Now यहाँ पे फिर से एग्जांपल समझ के लेते हैं. If the demand for Pepsi changes due to change in the price of Coke, और कहाँ है यहाँ पे? अगर ये नहीं होता, अगर ये होता है ड्यू टू चेंज इन इनकम, सपोज अगर मेरा इनकम लेवल चेंज होता है, देन आई विल स्विच फ्रॉम पेप्सी टू कोक. आइदर और बोला यहाँ पे ड्यू टू चेंज इन टेस्ट, आई डोंट लाइक पेप्सी टेस्ट, देन आई विल स्विच फॉर द कोक टेस्ट. Then such changes in demand for Pepsi is known as a change in demand. Right? So example, again you can see there are so many examples are there. Suppose a consumer is willing to buy 3 chocolates at a price of 30 per chocolate, and he willing to purchase 4 chocolates at rupees 27 and 5 chocolates at price rupees 25. In this given case, complete schedule of different quantities which the consumer is willing to buy at all the prices is called as demand for the commodity. Whereas demand of chocolate at a specific price 30 is called as quantity demanded. Whatever price was charged for the chocolate, he was willing to buy. जो कुछ प्राइस रहेगा उसके लिए वो रेडी था वो बाय करने के लिए, चाहे 4 क्वांटिटी आने दे या 5 क्वांटिटी आने, इट वाज नॉट अफेक्टिंग ऑन द हिज डिमांड. Right? Now you can test yourself. People buy more ice creams during summer than during winter. Consumer income falls and the number of automobiles purchased declines. So we can write an answer. What are the determinants of market demand? अभी मार्केट डिमांड क्या होता है वो भी थोड़ा सा देख लेते हैं हम अच्छे से यहाँ पे. अभी इंडिविजुअल डिमांड तो हमने देख लिया है. व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ इंडिविजुअल डिमांड? द डिमांड शेड्यूल ऑफ कंज्यूमर इज कॉल्ड द इंडिविजुअल डिमांड शेड्यूल. नॉट लाइक दैट. वेट, वेयर इज द इंडिविजुअल डिमांड? इट्स अ शेड्यूल, मार्केट शेड्यूल. वेट. It is also different part. There are certain specific features of market demand which are not observed in case of individual. जो कि इंडिविजुअल में नहीं है बट मार्केट डिमांड की अगर बात करते तो उसमें हमने कुछ ऑब्जर्व किया होता है. मार्केट डिमांड इज इन्फ्लुएंस्ड बाय ऑल द फैक्टर्स अफेक्टिंग इंडिविजुअल डिमांड फॉर अ कमोडिटी. सारे फैक्टर्स अफेक्ट करते हैं मार्केट डिमांड के ऊपर भी. इन एडिशन it is also affected by the following factors. These are the factors also affecting on the market demand. Let's see one by one. Size and composition of population. Market demand for a commodity is affected by by size of population in the country. How much size of your country is affecting on your demand. An increase in population raises the market demand. Obviously, market demand it means what? Total demand for the goods from all consumers, either all community. And while decrease in population reduces the market demand. Maybe this type of question will be asked in the examination. And increase in population drives the dash demand, individual demand, market demand, general demand, whatever. Right? Now, what is the meaning of composition of population? That is the ratio of males, females, children, and number of old people in the population also affect the demand for commodity. Example, if a market has larger proportion of women, then there will be more demand for articles of the use of such lipstick, sarees, etc. जिस एरिया में जो मार्केट रहेगा उसी का डिमांड वहीं पे रहेगा. ठीक है. Season and weather. The seasonal and weather conditions also affect the market demand. For example, during the winter, demand for woolen clothes and jackets has increases. Either you can take a simple example, another example of during the rainy season, umbrella demand is more than summer season. Right? Now again, distribution of income. If income of the country is equitable distributed, then market demand for commodities will be higher. However, income distribution is uneven, then people are either very rich or very poor. It depends upon the level of the income. किस तरह का अगर level income है तो फिर if your total income of the nation is not distributed equally among the people, then in this case it could be happen either that kind of consumer will become a rich, either that kind of consumer will become a poor. जैसे कि यहाँ पे देखो मार्केट डिमांड विल रिमेन एट द लोअर लेवल, मतलब जिस तरह का वो इनकम डिस्ट्रीब्यूट किया गया है उसके ऊपर डिपेंड करता है. यहाँ देयर आर वेरियस फैक्टर्स अफेक्टिंग द मार्केट डिमांड फॉर कमोडिटी. कौन से फैक्टर्स देखते हैं यहाँ पे. प्राइस ऑफ द गिवन कमोडिटी, दैट इज ऑल्सो इंपॉर्टेंट फैक्टर विच इज अफेक्टिंग ऑन द डिमांड ऑफ द कमोडिटी ऑफ द in the market. Income of the consumer, this is the most important determinant factor which is affecting on the market demand. Right? Expectation of change in price in future, season and weather, price of related goods, taste and preferences, size and composition, distribution of income. These are the important determinants of market demand. Either this, either individual. Both kind of question will be asking the examination most of the time. ये दोनों भी क्वेश्चन है ना हमेशा एग्जाम के टाइम पे पूछे जाते हैं वहां. ठीक है. देन डिटरमिनेंट्स ऑफ डिमांड, डिमांड फंक्शन. अभी डिमांड फंक्शन क्या क्या होते देखते हैं. और डिमांड फंक्शन शो द रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन क्वांटिटी डिमांडेड फॉर अ पर्टिकुलर कमोडिटी. क्या रिलेशन क्या शो करता है यहाँ पे. रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन किसके बीच में, क्वांटिटी डिमांडेड बट किसके लिए, फॉर अ पर्टिकुलर कमोडिटी, एंड द फैक्टर इन्फ्लुएंसिंग इट. कुछ ऐसे भी फैक्टर होते हैं कि जो इन्फ्लुएंस करते हैं उसके लिए. इट कैन बी either with respect to one consumer, that is called as individual demand, or for all the consumer that is called as market demand. ये भी affect करते हैं वहाँ पे. Let's see how. Individual demand function refers to the functional relationship between individual demand and the factor affecting individual demand. Obviously, everything is having individual, factor also become individuals. उसकी भी factor जो रहेंगे वो भी individuals रहेंगे वहाँ पे. So, denotes क्या है यहाँ पे. D stand for demand for commodity X, T stand for price related of goods, T stand for taste, Px is equal to price of given commodity, Y income consumer, right? So this is the abbreviation you can keep in mind for the purpose of future purpose. Now market demand function. Market demand function refers to the functional relationship between market demand and the factor affecting market demand. As mentioned before, market demand is affected by all factors. सारे फैक्टर से अफेक्ट होता है. जो कि इंडिविजुअल के जो फैक्टर्स है वो सारे मार्केट के भी फैक्टर सेम होते हैं. ग्रुप ऑफ इंडिविजुअल इट बिकम्स मार्केट. सारे इंडिविजुअल लोगों का ग्रुप जो होता है उसी को हम मार्केट कहेंगे ना. जो इंडिविजुअल का फैक्टर सेम है वो मार्केट का फैक्टर सेम रहेगा. देयर इज नो चेंज. नेक्स्ट, इन एडिशन इट इज ऑल्सो अफेक्टेड बाय द साइज एंड कंपोजिशन ऑफ पॉपुलेशन. ये भी मैटर करता है. सीजन क्या है, वेदर क्या है, distribution of income क्या है. So these are the important points which are affecting on the market demand function. Again, dx is equal to f into px pr by tf. So these are the abbreviation which is given there, right? So DX stand for market demand for commodity X. PR stand for price of related goods. T stand for taste and preferences. PO stand for size and composition of population. D stand for distribution of income. Then PX is equal to PX, price of commodity X. Y is equal to income of consumers, expectations, seasons, etc. So these are the important functions of the market demand. I hope this will be enough for the today. Enough or want to continue? Choice is yours.
We can continue next time.
Okay, for the next time.
Yeah,
No worries. No worries. Just a minute.
right.